And we are back, everybody. Welcome to Fandom United Live, episode number 10. We made it to episode number 10. Woo! All right.
10.
Yeah. Cheers. My name is Gio, coming at you from Dallas, Texas. That's right, not in Nashville anymore. Now in the big old Texas. Jacob, correct me if I'm wrong. You're the teacher. It's the biggest state in the United States, right? Obviously. Or is it
I believe
California?
so. Everything's bigger in Texas. That's all I know.
Everything's bigger in
That's
Texas.
what they say. Is it true?
I haven't been here long enough.
Have you come
Okay.
to find that out yet, Gio?
Not quite, man. Not quite. But yep. I am here with Jacob Bartley, one half of Bartley and Barnes. Keith Barnes should be coming in soon. And Gabe is rushing home from traffic. I already sent him the link. And we're gonna be talking some NFL
Who's
draft.
Gabe?
Gabe Miramontes. Gabe Miramontes, that's right. Some of you may not know Gabe, but if you're around the YouTube sphere, Jacob and Gabe did a first round fantasy podcast focused on the fantasy football world and, just keeping players, participants up to date with that kind of stuff. We're going to have a little bit of a union here on Fandom United Live and talk some NFL draft. So if you're not a football fan, just a heads up, we're going to be spending the first 20, 25 minutes talking some football. And I can't wait. Oh, I can't wait. I want to hear I want to hear from Gabe about the Raiders pick. I want to hear about all that. I want him to explain why we should be excited for that pick. So yeah, we're going to figure that out. And look at that, I'm already being corrected in the chat right there.
There we go. That makes sense.
Alaska, actually. Alaska, that's right. Damn it.
That makes sense.
By the way, I already sent a text message to Mr. Berlin and Mr. Brian Avellino, but I just wanted to, on this show, congratulate you guys. I know you guys are wrapping it up with a certain point of view on that YouTube channel. And you guys know I've already gave you your flowers for, the amount of impact you've had in such a short time. So once again, congratulations to you guys. And, if it wasn't for that channel, there's people who wouldn't be, routinely visiting in our chats and on our separate YouTube channels, and especially on Apocalypse as well. So congratulations, guys. I am, like I said, here with Jacob Bartley. Jacob, what's new? I know we took last week off. We had, quote unquote, a bye week.
Doing good, man. Just working, enjoying life. I have one more day of work and then going on a work conference next week in Palm Springs. So that's going to be fun. Yeah, just spending time with my lady and, living life.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I saw some photos of you on social media. A rare sighting, a rare appearance from Jacob on social media.
Yeah, I got to do it for the special occasions. It was her birthday this past week, so
happy birthday, Kylie. If you're ever watching on playback, I hope you had fun.
Yeah, so we went out to a nice dinner and we basically celebrated all weekend, had a lot of fun. Yeah.
Nice. That's all. Hey, you paid, right?
I'll keep that to myself, but of course.
Okay. You went Dutch?
As a gentleman should.
Nice. Very cool. All right. Well, while we're waiting for some people on the stream here before we talk some football, right now the Philadelphia Eagles are on the clock right now, and it's pick number 22 out of 31. So
know what pick I'm waiting for?
Yeah. San Francisco 49ers.
Oh yeah. How are you, Gio, by the way? How's Texas?
Good, man. Good. Well, Texas, the barbecue, man. That barbecue rub, those ribs. Oh my God, the ribs and the brisket, dude. It's just, I had to go on a little bit of a water fast because I was like, okay, like between Nashville's fried chicken, Texas barbecue, and then you have all the sides, right? Cornbread, mac and cheese, baked beans, and all that. Like, I started packing on some weight after already doing a water fast. So I did another one, and trying to keep things in control here, but it's so tough with the food, man. But like I said, I'm pretty grateful for what I'm able to do. It's a lot of work, long hours. I don't work under anything under 11 hours. So for some people, I know that's the norm and whatnot, but there's just so much fluctuation here. But it's nice, man. It's nice, and just the days fly by. So yeah, it's been a treat and a grind. So,
Hmm.
but always make time for these types of streams here, and yeah. So as I've said before, this is Fandom United, a blockbuster podcast, and we will be talking about the Deadpool and Wolverine trailer. I mean, there's been conversations all week about this latest trailer, about this movie. The hype is real, Jacob. It's been a while since I've seen social media influencers, hype up a Marvel movie. Not since probably, I'm gonna say not since Endgame, even though I'm not really counting No Way Home, because No Way Home was already exciting, but we still didn't know about, you
That's
know,
true. We didn't
the other
officially like
Spider-Man,
if Toby and Andrew were in the
the trailers.
trailers, then it
Yeah,
would be like this, you know?
yeah, yeah. So actually, you know what? Let's start off with that. Let's let
Yeah.
the NFL draft wrap up here. So we got a brand new trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine, and it is Hugh Jackman centric right there. I mean, just right from the get. The first shot is him sitting at a bar, and it was very reminiscent. I don't know if you saw the trailer for the Wolverine game. It's kind of like a teaser trailer where he's just sitting at the bar, and he has his back turned to the camera,
I haven't seen that, no.
and you should check it out. Looking forward to that game.
That's classic Wolverine. Sitting at a
Sitting,
bar back to the camera, like
yeah,
or sitting at
yeah,
a poker table back to the camera, but that's probably not Hugh Jackman though.
yeah, and it was a very action packed trailer to the music of Madonna's. I think it's called "Living on a Prayer," if I'm not mistaken. Um, and yeah, we got a lot of not "Living on a Prayer." I forgot what the name of the song is called. "Living on a Prayer" is something else, and yeah, but like a prayer. Excuse me, like a prayer.
There you go.
But yeah, man, this trailer is coming, and the marketing is full steam ahead. And there's a shot right there of Hugh Jackman, it's Wolverine, returning alongside Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool. We never thought we would see this on the big screen. Hugh Jackman, famously said he retired while promoting Logan in 2017, and 7 years later, here he is. And your thoughts on the trailer, Jacob? I know I haven't talked to you, so tell me what you think about this.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's excited for this movie, right? How can you not be? If you're a comic movie fan, you're a movie fan, you're excited for this movie. Some people to varying levels, but I can only speak for myself. This movie can't, like, there's, other than maybe The Force Awakens, because the hype was building up. Like, the thing for me is with Endgame and Infinity War, like we had a lot of MCU movies leading up to it, right? So it was like I was feeding that hunger. Like The Force Awakens, the anticipation was insane. For me, that 2017 Power Rangers movie, we all know how I feel about Power Rangers, but this movie is on that level. Like I've been saying ever since they officially announced that Hugh Jackman was going to be in the film as Wolverine, I said, this is my most anticipated movie since The Force Awakens. And I stand by that, because this Hugh Jackman, I've been, just like most comic book movie fans around my age, I've been watching Hugh Jackman play this character for 25 year or 24 years, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
And that's crazy. And he literally is my gateway into the comic book movie genre. I mean, of course I loved X-Men animated series, Spider-Man animated series, Batman animated series, and movies like the Michael Keaton Batman and the sequels to those, and maybe Blade and stuff. But that first X-Men movie was my gateway into this genre. And the thing is, like, we honor, look how highly we think of Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans in their respective roles in the MCU. Hugh Jackman was doing it longer than them, like a lot longer. I mean, at least 8 years longer than Robert Downey Jr. was. And that's crazy to think about. So to me, he's just as iconic as those. I mean, if there's a Mount Rushmore of, let's just say, Marvel live action character adaptations, I think he's absolutely on it. I mean, even if you just want to go superheroes, period, Hugh Jackman's absolutely on it.
Yeah.
And so to have the culmination of him coming back as Wolverine in the MCU, I mean, Logan's literally my second favorite movie of all time. So if that doesn't explain how excited I am for this movie, then I don't know what will. But the trailer itself, it's, I love the trailer, but I wasn't like completely blown away by it, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I think because I don't know who, I think it was the director. It might have been the director that said that.
Sean Levy. Yeah.
Yeah, Sean Levy, that they can only show so much in these trailers. There's so much more in this movie that they can't even touch on. Like, this is just like the tip of the iceberg. So I think I'm feeling that absence of the rest of the movie, but I'm completely okay with that because I almost don't want to see anymore.
Yeah.
But just for what it is, just to see them together again, in a hopefully good movie, not like X-Men Origins, Wolverine. I can't wait. It's going to be so epic, and it's rated R, and it's too perfect. It's too perfect. If this movie was just coming out, let's say Disney never bought Fox, and this was just a same movie-ish, without the MCU elements, I would be through the moon, happy and excited. But also, it's in the MCU, and it's literally like the MCU is depending on this movie. Like, it's insane. I never thought we would be here. But yeah, I cannot wait. I honestly am like counting down the days until this movie comes out. Every day I'm like, how far until Deadpool Wolverine? And it comes out on your birthday.
Yeah.
And 2 days after my birthday.
So I think their early premieres are on the 25th for the, because there's always screenings on Thursday now. So
yeah, I mean, I want to try to find an early fan screening.
Oh,
if
yeah.
we can.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to see this movie ASAP. If I can go to the premiere, I want to go to the premiere somehow, some way.
Dude.
Can you imagine going to the premiere of this?
It would be like a Comic-Con, honestly, because you would have so many stars there. You'd see so many familiar faces, I'll say. And, obviously Kevin Feige be there, Ryan Reynolds. It wouldn't shock me if Taylor Swift was there at the premiere, and I'll just say that. But yeah, dude, to your point, Marvel, it's been a while since I've seen Marvel have this much confidence in a production. You didn't hear any trouble about the production at all. No massive rewrites, none of that kind of stuff. And I was surprised we got a trailer this early. I think it was, I was expecting at least till mid-May
Yeah,
until we
it
got
came
another one.
really soon.
Yeah, it did. And but the trailer was just absolutely fantastic. It was, so it was just so emotional seeing Hugh Jackman again. Like we knew he was going to be in this movie and whatnot, but like to see him back, and the first shot we see is just a close up of him, saying, "Just pour me one more drink" and whatnot, and then the chemistry between Wolverine and Deadpool is something that was one of the best parts about X-Men Origins, right? And you saw
Hmm.
so much potential there, and I compare it to, say what you will about Fast and Furious, but that chemistry between Hobbs and Shaw before they did their own movie, it's like boom, there's something right there, and they need to capitalize on it. And what do we know about Ryan Reynolds, right? He's a close friend of Hugh Jackman. He admires him, he adores him, he loves him. He's been trying for years to make this happen, and he made it happen with the help of Kevin Feige and of course director Sean Levy, who's worked with both Reynolds and Jackman. And this trailer, it gives us everything, including some more answers to the story here. So we know something happened on this Wolverine's timeline with the X-Men, and we can only assume these are tombs, right, Jacob?
Yeah, gravestones. Yeah, I mean
Gravestones, yeah.
they're bigger versions of things we've seen before in the comics and the animated series. Yeah.
Yeah. So clearly something's happened where, this Wolverine just, he's filled with so much hate and so much pain. And this is a character who doesn't age like humans. So he's
Hmm.
seen people come and go. He's lost loved ones, but never like this, to the point where he's completely given up. And, Deadpool, doing everything he can to, convince him to, be the
The action in
hero.
that scene looks amazing, by the way.
Yes. And this kind of confirms my suspicion about the TVA giving Deadpool a little bit of an upgrade in regards to his katana swords,
Oh yeah.
adamantium. I mean, look at that. It would
No,
have
they
broke, right?
are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it makes sense when you go back to the first trailer and you see the TVA kind of upgrading his suit and,
Yeah.
giving him what he needs to, you know, throw down with Wolverine. And, we saw Eliath, the creature from Loki series, which
Hmm.
means obviously this is in the void right here. And we have answers on who is running the show here, and that's Cassandra Nova. And according to the experts, Cassandra Nova is the evil twin of Professor Xavier. It's a really freak show type of origin between these two.
Yeah.
Apparently, Xavier killed her or thought he killed her in the womb, in the mother's womb, if I'm not mistaken, and she comes back. And yeah, she's running things here, and she's not alone. She's kind of assembled her own little army of like call them variants from different worlds. And we see some familiar faces in here. I'm sure you've already
Oh
done your
yeah.
research, Jacob, but we have uh Azazel from First Class. We have
Yep.
Lady Deathstrike from X2, who
Yep.
I'm so glad
That's
she's back.
awesome.
Yeah, and then of course there's Toad, there's Calypso from X-Men: The Last Stand. The lesser known mutants who were just a part of Magneto's ragtag team. And then of course on the right side, sitting above the car, is Pyro. And I'm willing to bet there's going to be even more surprises there.
Absolutely.
We heard rumors about Jennifer Garner's Elektra from Daredevil making an appearance. And some people on the internet are saying this guy to the right of Azazel is the Russian guy that Punisher fought. Um,
Ah.
so that could be a variant of him. But how about the giant Ant-Man corpse. I mean, dude,
That's
talk about
interesting.
going there. Like, we knew this movie was going to be R-rated already, but to have an Avengers corpse be the headquarters of Cassandra Nova, I mean, just look at that facial expression right there. She is evil, man.
Oh yeah.
She is evil. Jesus Christ. I mean, uh, potential to be up there with you remember that Dread movie with Carl Urban and Mama?
Yes.
Remember Mama? How
Hmm.
terrifying she was. Like the Cassandra Nova could probably make Mama from Dread look like a G-rated version or PG version. That's how much this movie is going to be as far as like disturbing and violent. And then of course Ryan Reynolds, and his team of writers, Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick, and of course Sean Levy having the raunchy jokes in there,
Oh
whiskey
yeah.
dick, and the claws, which we've seen before, from Logan and all that there. Do you have any more theories or anything that maybe I've missed so far that you want to bring up? Like, who the hell opened this portal right here?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that could be Wong. It could be a random sorcerer that we don't, that any student from the,
America Chavez? I
yeah,
doubt
it could
it.
be it could be a character we've never met before, just a random sorcerer, to be honest.
Hmm.
But I have a feeling it's if I had to put money on it, I would say it's Wong, honestly.
Yeah, Wong's kind of
Because
been the through line more
I
than
would think that,
Fury.
like, I don't know what the reasoning for it would be. Uh Maybe he's keeping an eye on a lot of stuff going on in the multiverse, or he's getting ready for some the Secret Wars or whatever's, or the Kang Dynasty thing that's going on or whatever, and he like, hey, we're gonna need these guys, so bring them through. But I honestly, look, they think about this. A lot of the trailer is either starts in Wade's apartment at the TVA, him going to get Wolverine, and in the
Hmm.
Void. Those are not the only places they are going in this movie. I
Oh
will
yeah,
not be surprised if that portal opening scene is in the, let's say, the first half of the movie. Let's just to be modest, because I would say the first 30 minutes, but they might have to get through a lot to get there. But they could get through, we could be heading into, the second act by the time that portal opens. And
yeah.
if, like Sean Levy says, there's so much in this movie they can't show.
Hmm.
They could be jumping to different universes, coming into the MCU or to the sacred timeline, and anything. So I think we're in for I do think that's earlier on in the movie than we think, at least halfway through. And I would probably say it's Wong or a sorcerer we never heard of. But I mean, but also the obvious Doctor Strange, because last time we saw him, he just learned about all these incursions and everything.
Yeah, and he went off with Clea to go and
Yeah, and they're
fix one of
so
them.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's them.
Yeah.
They're learning, they're going through, because he's more in the know about the incursions than Wong is, as far as we
Hmm.
know. So
Yeah.
I just, yeah, I mean, I know we're gonna get a lot more cameos. Just can't wait to see that. Yeah, I like,
I
this
might
is
have
one of
asked.
those movies where you
Go
just
ahead.
can't, not gonna believe it while you're watching it.
Oh yeah, I think the shock value alone, but
Oh yeah.
the shock value won't take you out of the theater experience. Like this is, uh, it's must see. I was listening to or watching the POV stream, and Jake's like, I was only given a certain number of movies to see in theaters, from his wife, and he's like, well, I just added Deadpool and Wolverine. It's like, yeah, like come on now, like anybody who grew up on the Fox movies, it's just should be there opening day. And man, this is going to be $1 billion movie, dude. This is going to be $1 billion
Oh,
movie. This is going to have
I would
repeat
not
viewings.
doubt it. Of course it is.
Yeah, I mean, just it's insane, dude. And if anything, this movie will be a $1 billion movie because of this growing rumor that I kind of hinted at, and I kind of just want to bring up here. So Taylor Swift just released her album last week. I'm sure you knew about that, Jacob, and you listened to
Yeah.
it, quite a few times on repeat. But so there's a growing speculation here that Taylor Swift, because she loves Easter eggs, dropped a hint that she could be appearing in this movie as Dazzler in one of her songs, which I listened to because that's as me being the insider, it's my it's my blessing and my curse. Okay, I have to just sometimes make the sacrifice, whether it's learning spoilers a year in advance or listening to music from a significant other whose football team, not my significant other, but my rival football team, and they beat my 49ers, and all that crap, which I'm still sour about. But anyways, she uses the word dazzling in one of her songs. You take that, the fact that she was at the Super Bowl with Blake Lively, and the fact that Ryan Reynolds has previously worn a Taylor Swift t-shirt, I believe in Deadpool 2, when he's going around the X Mansion.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is heading into Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield territory for me. If she's in this movie, you can pretty much, whatever your prediction was for the box office, you can double it. The Swifties, who probably wouldn't even be interested in watching a Marvel movie in theaters, are going to flood to the theaters and watch this just to see her in a superhero movie. How insane would that be, Jacob? Just like, it wouldn't surprise me either, because Kevin Feige is probably just like, oh man, oh boy, yes, bring it on right here.
Well,
I mean,
not to mention Kevin Feige is a huge fan of Dazzler. He somebody asked him one time, I heard this, I don't know if this is true, but I heard it on a podcast that somebody asked him if you were to ever direct a movie. This was a long time ago, like this wasn't recently. And if you were to ever direct a movie, which one would it be? And he said Dazzler, which is, I don't know if that's true, but I heard that. Look, the thing is, I think it would boost the box office for sure, but the thing is, she's not going to be starring in the movie. If she's in it, it's a glorified cameo.
Sure.
She's not going to be like let's say, how
she's not going to have
Winter Soldier is basically like, it's Steve, Natasha, and Falcon.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if it was Wolverine, Deadpool, and Dazzler, like 3 leading the movie, then yeah. But it'll boost, but not like double the box office, though.
I give it 2 weeks. 2 weeks after the movie's premiered in theaters, you're going to see TV spots, and it's going to cut to her, and it's just going to be, oh my God,
Yeah, of course. But the thing is, then they will go and it'll be like, oh, that's the only scene she's in.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
right.
You're
what
right.
do we know about marketing? Right.
As long as they get him in there, but
they could easily Madam Web her.
I'm fine with her playing a character like that because she's not a trained actress. She's been in movies before, but
she could pull off a performance like that. What, Dazzler on stage or something, and maybe absolutely. She uses her powers once,
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm fine with that, as long as, because the thing is, for me, is like, if she's like the third lead, then I'm like, come on now, that's ridiculous. But if it's a cameo, I'm totally fine with that. And so yeah, that I'm pretty sure that's in the bag because why not? It doesn't hurt.
Oh, speaking of experts and big time Swiftie fans, somebody just joined the chat here. Let's bring in our resident Swiftie here, Mr. Keith Barnes here. I don't know if you caught any of the show, but we were talking Deadpool and Wolverine. I want your thoughts on the trailer, and how much do you expect Taylor Swift to be in this movie as Dazzler?
What's the opposite of Swiftie? That's what I am. I mean, whatever the opposite of a Swiftie is.
A Yeezy? What's Kanye West?
No,
Is he,
no,
Wow.
not that either. So is that confirmed now? Is she actually?
No, it's not. But
no, but there's a
heavily
huge
speculated.
speculation on there. That was like huge speculation. Which, I mean, if we're talking about a cameo or like maybe at best a glorified cameo, that wouldn't surprise me. I mean, it's your one opportunity to have Dazzler make an appearance, and like, you get Taylor Swift, who's friends with Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, and
Dazzler was in Dark Phoenix.
She was on the album cover.
No, she was performing in concert in X-Men Dark Phoenix.
Was she?
Yeah. They were watching her perform in the woods when all the I don't know why I remember this. But
was that? Oh, see,
when,
you just did your research, man. I forgot about that. But
when Jessica Chastain and all the other aliens, shapeshifter people showed up, they were watching Dazzler perform right behind the X-Mansion.
But that wasn't Taylor Swift, was it?
No, there's a bunch of variant. She's gonna be a variant.
Yeah, right. But I mean, one of my daughters, like, she's always wanted to see Dazzler.
Dazzler is fine, but if she, other people say that she might be playing Lady Deadpool, and please no, like
I think that's Blake Lively.
That's fine, yeah, that's perfect, but please not her, no.
Hey, John Booz, how's it going, buddy? Yeah, I don't know. Well, that's bizarre, but what was the other question?
Your thoughts on Deadpool and Wolverine, the trailer,
of course.
The Hugh Jackman centric trailer, man. What do you think?
Looks good. Looks like I only watched it the one time. I saw a little bit of it on that kind of auto plays on Instagram or whatever, and then I just watched it on TV. The girls and I watched it last night. So, looks good. It looks like standard Deadpool stuff that we're used to, but seemingly there seems to be more stakes. Obviously, with like Deadpool has a lot. Sounds like he's got a lot to lose here. So I think it sounds like he's taken whatever this is more seriously than I mean, granted, he was trying to in the last one he was mad about. He's getting revenge for his lady dying, but this is like universal stuff, obviously. So. Looks good. I mean, I don't know what to say about it, man. I mean, we're super excited about it. There's a lot of we're trying to catch. I mean, we're talking about it now, so I know you guys, Gio. I know you went through it. You combed through it with a fine tooth comb. But there's a lot of other stuff going on. Got the big. I was just about to bring that up. The giant Ant-Man head.
Now, is that Hank Pym or is that Scott Lang?
That's a good question. Well,
everyone just assumes it's Scott Lang, but it could definitely be Hank Pym.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. And I guess it appears to be. I guess maybe we still don't know, but if it's that weird place in Loki, that place where everybody.
Yeah, the Void.
It is.
Oh, it's. I mean, this right here confirms it. It's the Void. That's Alistair.
Oh, that's that thing. Yeah. Okay. Yep. I didn't even see that. Okay. Well, there you go. Yeah. So.
But Keith, I was saying, I think this is like a 30-minute part of the movie,
like first half hour.
Like
the
Void. Like I think there's so many more settings that they're gonna go to.
Yeah,
I think that Void is just like a 30-minute scene.
Yeah, yeah. I think you might be right. You might be right. Although, well, maybe. I mean, probably because this has a bigger budget than the first two movies. But
Yeah.
that first movie pretty much just took place on that highway. You know, that one stretch of highway. So maybe it could just be all right there. Who knows? But
which I rewatched that about 2 weeks ago, dude. What was I thinking? Putting Deadpool 2 over the first movie? No,
No.
oh yeah,
no, that first movie. Oh,
yeah,
The first one is amazing.
it's so good.
so good.
It's yeah, it really is.
I have a deeper appreciation for that. You know, has that ever happened to you guys where like you watch a movie, you're hot at first and then you cool down for some reason,
Oh, absolutely.
and then later on you get hot again and you're just like, man, what
Mhm.
was I thinking? Like,
Sure.
I think I'm finding that with quite a few Marvel movies, you know. But
Well, I mentioned a few weeks back, and it's funny because you in our group chat, the three of us were talking about, and our buddy Gabe talking about watching all the X-Men movies, maybe. But I did that. I don't know if you guys remember. I did that a couple months ago, when after the Super Bowl trailer came out for this one. We just took a weekend and watched all of them, and including.
Oh, so
Deadpool.
just the X-Men movies, though, right?
Yeah. But I had watched Deadpool 1 and 2 when I discovered that they were on Disney Plus a month or two
Nice.
before that. And I have I think Deadpool 2, because I hadn't seen it since, I maybe saw it once since the theater. But just rewatching, I'm like, oh, this movie's good. I liked it better this time than I did when I first saw it.
It's a good movie. There's just things in it that
it's
could have been done
goofy.
better.
Yeah, I agree. But it's nowhere near as good as the first time.
yeah. Maybe we won't do, if we decide to do that, we won't do all the movies. We'll be selective.
We can pick
about
some.
it,
I think
so.
I was thinking about it. I was going to bring it up. Maybe we'll talk about it later, but we can pick some out that kind of maybe central to this story coming up.
Like 5 of them, you know.
Yeah,
so.
maybe like the Wolverine heavy ones.
Definitely the Wolverine. Yeah, probably the Wolverine trilogy, and then we'll see. I don't know. I for some reason I kind of want to rewatch Origins again. I mean, we're gonna get Gambit. I hope it's Channing Tatum, but it could be
guarantee it'll be Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum?
Yeah, I would bet.
I mean, this would be the one time to put him in, right?
I never wanted to see Gambit more after X-Men 97.
Right? Yeah, right.
He's a beast.
Right. Agreed.
Dude.
Yeah.
So cool. Any final thoughts on Deadpool Wolverine? Jacob said he's gonna.
I talked a lot about it.
Do you think there are any other villains besides
Cassandra Nova? I mean,
I don't think she's the main villain of the movie at all.
That's what I was thinking about that too.
Well, yeah. I mean, look at all these villains right here.
Well, I don't think she's the big bad of the whole entire movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I agree.
It's the Legion of Doom right here for the X-Men universe. You know.
I think she's, like I said, I think she's just in this part of the movie, but at the same time she probably has bigger goals. But if you look, so someone pointed out, if you look at when they're jumping out, when they first jump towards the portal, she's behind them on the other, if you turn facing them the other way, she's behind them.
Got you.
So I don't know what that means.
Interesting. Okay.
At the same time, they could cut that. Who knows? But
is that Wong? Is Wong there? That's what I heard somebody say. Wong is.
Yeah,
I think it's Wong.
This is intentionally edited to look like this. Maybe they're jumping into New York or something. I don't know. Or that would be funny. And looking back at this picture right here, there's no way they're just gonna have Wolverine and Deadpool take on all these people. So we gotta see hopefully James Marsden's Cyclops. There's a Russian guy right there, but to the right of Azazel. So could it be Thomas Jane or who's the other one? No,
I just thought of something. What if? They've been talking about Robert Downey Jr. might come back eventually. What if they get brought into the Endgame battle, one of them does the snap instead of Robert Downey Jr. That way they can just heal themselves. Boom. Robert Downey Jr. is back. They're in the MCU.
There's a thought there. I mean, that's
No, I wouldn't want that because it would completely take away from Endgame.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that'd be one way to do it.
they could do that though, which is interesting.
It sounds
Mhm.
like he'll be back though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think
he'll
it'll be a
back.
variant though, because
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
only way to. I want our Tony to live like that. Sacrifice stays.
Sure.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me to see him be superior Iron Man. Remember, everyone was convinced, even me to an extent, that Tom Cruise is going to be superior Iron Man, and like, how did that turn out?
It would
No,
never
didn't happen.
do that.
There's a lot of things about Multiverse of Madness that didn't turn out how we thought, but that's okay.
Yeah.
All right. The NFL draft is currently on pick number 26, so we'll hold off and touch on that towards the end. But
Like I said, I have no idea what's happening. I know about number 2, the number 2 pick. That's all I know.
yeah,
I have
we'll
no
get
idea what happened.
we'll get your reaction about that. We'll get your reaction, Mr. Washington. I want to talk about what have you guys been watching lately. Full disclosure, unfortunately, I haven't been able to see some of the things that I've been wanting to see. I literally jumped from Nashville to Dallas, and it's been a grind. So sorry out there, guys. Not even X-Men 97, but I will watch that. I mean, I texted you guys my reaction to not this recent episode, but the episode
Yeah.
before.
Last week. Yep.
Oh my god, dude!
Yeah, right.
So heartbreaking, man. But So is this latest episode of X-Men 97 another tearjerker, heartbreaker? Is it like? Do I need to
Wait,
prepare?
which one are you on?
Was there a big attack?
The most recent one I saw where Gambit was a boss.
Oh.
So there's been 2 episodes since then.
Really?
Yeah, you got 2. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's one episode and then another. So
There's one that's let's just say it's in space. I don't want to say anything.
half of it is, yeah.
Oh,
Half
I know
of it.
what you're talking about. Yeah, it's with that civilization that we haven't seen a lot of, but they're there. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they were in the Sega Genesis game. Yeah. Oh, and I know of because of Instagram, I know of a cameo who's in the X-Men. This most recent
The
X-Men.
most recent, okay.
Yeah,
There's a couple
so-
of cameos, but yeah, the big one. I know who. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Booze. Yeah, number 6, number 7, I need to catch up on. But if you guys have any thoughts on the latest episode of 97, please don't let me. I mean, I'm gonna figure it out anyway. So, but if you guys have anything you want to say about that or some reactions, or
Are you fully caught up, Keith?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm loving the show.
Me too.
There were a few episodes here and there that I was like, but overall, I'm loving it. It's so. This is. I have a hard time believing like this is straight up for kids. Like it's not necessarily.
No,
it's
it's not.
It's brutal at some point. It's
The original series wasn't. Yeah, it was just. It was the same.
It's definitely PG-13. Like
Yeah.
it has to have like that TVY 14 or something. Like if it was on cable back in the day, but it's pretty brutal. Especially this last episode was very dark. Certain points, but yeah, I mean it's very grand. They're going, it's a grand scale, like you said, going to space with the Landra and the Shi'ar Empire? Yeah, and all that and everything going on.
We're
But
not done with that. With those.
I mean the last 3 episodes are like a 3-story arc, so I think everything's gonna come together now.
Yeah. Everything that you've seen from the beginning of the season, or even some stuff from before, but yeah, definitely, it's all gonna come together in these last 3.
But this just makes me. I can't wait until like I know we're gonna do in the MCU. I think they're gonna have the Fox universe like be a part of up to Secret Wars or whatever. But then I think eventually we're gonna get to like. Okay, a proper MCU X-Men team. And it makes me so excited because I hope they just they try to do this in the MCU as much as they can.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because
I don't know.
not
I
like
hope
literally the same way, but just like
well,
an adaptation of this.
yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of the mind that, of course, we all want, but if they just keep, I'm sure I've said this on here, but if they keep X-Men just here, the animated series, I'd be totally fine with that. Because no one, I know there's new people in charge, I understand, but just they haven't gotten X-Men, they haven't done this at all ever in any of the movies.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
And I wonder if they even can. You know, I don't know. If they kept it to the animated series, I'd be fine with that. I know people want to see all this in live action, but there's just so much more that they can do on this animated series than they could probably do in live action. I don't know. I'm just really enjoying it. I think the writing's brilliant. It's like the dialogue, especially this last episode. I mean, it's pretty incredible. The themes there's underlying themes. Some of them are not so underlying. Some are pretty pretty obvious. But I mean, it's just such a well done show. I just yeah, I don't know, man. There's a lot. I mean, there's big fights that, you know, they're doing. I love the little nods to certain things. At one point, Rogue does a kick that's straight out of the Marvel vs. Capcom game.
Oh yeah, like that.
It's the exact.
Yeah.
I've picked, my kids and I
I
picked it up
love
right
those
away.
type of Easter eggs, man.
Yes.
Or references, not Easter eggs, references.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I mean, it was so good. I got a kick out of that, but I'll say, just, you know, it seems like in each episode somebody's like you say, a boss. In this one, it was definitely Rogue.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm really the Storm. I'm saying the last one without, you know, but yeah, it's been great. I'm kind of dreading these next 3 because I know it's going to be some major stuff coming up. I hope we don't lose anyone else, you know. But that you know, that again, the stakes are high, so I'm glad that they're doing that. So love it, love the show, I really do.
Yeah, and I meant, like, I don't want them to, like, take this X-Men 97 and like bring them into the MCU live action versions.
Yeah.
I just meant, like, I think they're gonna do an homage. Like, to me, the X-Men movies when they first came out, like, they wanted to be so serious, like, let's make it so real world, like as if the mutants were in our world.
Yeah.
But like now I want it to be like more of an
comic
homage to this, you know, and like adapt it as much as you can. And like, and honestly, what I'm really saying is I want Cyclops to be how he is in this show.
Yeah.
In live action.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Like I was just talking about Rogue,
Rogue too.
The stuff we saw from Storm.
I was thinking about that last night.
Never done any of that. And
what did they do with Rogue in the movies?
Nothing.
Like,
she's sad, which she is sometimes.
Like, she's a completely. You know what I think that was both them trying to be like make it more serious and like grounded or whatever, but also budgetary constraints because they're like, if we have Rogue doing all that, she's essentially Captain Marvel now, and like that's gonna cost a lot of money. Like,
yeah.
And also, like, what I mean. She would have taken out any threats in the first X-Men
immediately, just her alone. But then, you know, like I said, and I mentioned Storm a couple times. Storm, so like she's nowhere near as powerful in the live action stuff that she is in this show. At least Cyclops, like you said, Gambit. They can't even. The little bit of Gambit we got was pretty cool, but it's like Gambit can do some stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, and then look, Magneto, even he picked up RFK Stadium, which is, I mean, yes, I know that was an incredible effect and incredible stunt to do, but you want to see Magneto doing some stuff, you know. Everybody, you know, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I think they could do a lot more, in obviously in animated than they can in live action. It would be super expensive.
With the stakes of the MCU now, and like how many other powerful beings there are and powerful threats, I think we will get to see some of those X-Men display those power
Yeah.
levels.
Yeah. I hope so. And hopefully they're not just fighting other just kind of random, just random mutants with random powers like we saw in
Yeah.
the first Phoenix movie.
Sentinels and other mutants.
Right. Yeah. Like this. We'll see. But yeah, I see what you mean. I'd love it. Yeah, see more. Like we were saying, more comic booky X-Men, like we see on this show.
Yeah.
Like to see them do more of that stuff.
Absolutely.
I don't know. Hopefully.
Yeah, you guys have a point. I mean, a lot of good points. It took how many movies for them to finally give us Berserker Wolverine and, like Wolverine sprinting through the woods and, going crazy. The one that they nailed
Or even
from the
X-23.
start. Yeah, the one that they nailed from the start, I'll give them credit for, was Nightcrawler and that whole White House scene.
Yes.
Like, that was perfect, just chef's kiss.
That's still
right
that
there.
definitely holds up. That's still really good. That's a
Yeah.
good scene.
I love Nightcrawler in the show too.
Yes, he's great. Yeah.
Now, there was some hype on social media, and fans love the fan cast. I mean, that's
Oh,
what they do. What do we think about this? Henry Cavill as Magneto. I mean, that's not a bad fan art right there. That's it's not bad.
Magneto.
And I don't think we've ever seen him play an evil role. Here's another look at him right there. I mean, he's got the hair.
I wouldn't be against it, but
yeah.
So, do you think they're gonna recast all these characters, or like, are we gonna get Fox X-Men characters as the main characters going forward? That will determine, because then I'm like, just bring Michael Fassbender in, because just have him there. But if you're gonna have like, oh, this is a whole new X-Men with recasting everybody, then I would be totally fine with Henry Cavill playing him.
Yeah.
There we go. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot.
Like,
of
if you're gonna have
speculation.
Hugh Jackman as Wolverine and then have Henry Cavill as Magneto, then that's gonna be weird to me. Like,
oh no, I think.
Well, it depends on who you cast as Professor X.
True.
I wonder who his counter would be.
I think after
Henry Cavill's such a big burly.
After Multiverse Saga, that'll be the last we see of
The Fox X-Men.
Jackman
I think
and
so too.
everybody
I
there.
think they'll end the Multiverse Saga with there's no multiverse or something, or they close off any connection to multiverses.
Yeah.
Something like that.
They just pick one going forward and just that we're going to watch.
But universes will merge like they do, and then things like that.
Yeah,
the sacred timeline. Yeah.
Maybe.
What movies have you guys been watching?
Real quick, hold on. John Booth, what do you? I'm not against that, but he has to be. Our buddy John Booth says Jesse Eisenberg, Professor X. But if they're going for a younger one, sure, but I think he's got to be a little older. I'm not against that.
So then you have Superman and Lex Luthor.
Wait, how are you
I didn't even
for
think
that?
Yeah, right.
But against him as Lex Luthor,
I wasn't against him as
Junior.
I wasn't against him as Lex Luthor. I didn't like his performance. I like him because I like him a lot. I just don't like what he did in that role. It's awful. It's silly. If he was more, I want a menacing as Lex Luthor. Anyway. I don't want to, but he'd be pretty. That's interesting. It's interesting. I wouldn't. But yeah, I missed the Superman. That's really funny. Superman and Lex Luthor as Professor X, Magneto. But they got to be friends, right? They gotta have that friendship. Like you have to see that between those two. So.
Oh yeah, you have to nail that.
That's gonna be tough to cast.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the X-Men, is their clashing of ideas and mutants against the world or mutants amongst the world. So yeah. Any movies you guys want to talk about? Any movies you've been watching? Anything interesting? I know there's a couple movies in theaters.
Jacob, you've seen everything. I've missed. I tried to catch the two that I said I was going to catch. I didn't. I did watch The Ministry of Gentleman in Warfare.
But what'd you think?
I didn't get to see the other two that I want to see, Civil War or Monkey Man. But I thought it was excellent. Speaking of Henry Cavill, he's great. Yeah. He's so good.
Nice.
That's a great. The whole cast is great, man. But I really loved it. I wasn't the guy that played Churchill was. I'm a big Winston Churchill. Like people playing Churchill in movies.
Sure.
I always, pick up on that. I follow him, but he was okay, right? But you
didn't like him? You think he was too over the top?
I've seen better. Well, Churchill was a little over the top sometimes. I mean, Gary Oldman was, as great as he was.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe I was thinking too much of that, or John Lithgow plays him in The Crown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was maybe I just had too much of that in my head. He was okay, but the movie's really great. It's a Guy Ritchie. It's not as Guy Ritchie-ish as I thought it would be.
Yeah,
which that's okay, but it has the Guy Ritchie isms,
yeah.
Oh, that's to me, it's like Aladdin has the Guy Ritchie isms, but I don't want it to be too Guy Ritchie. You know,
right. That's so I'm saying. I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because I was kind of expecting to be, oi, you come here. Kind of.
I think it's a great movie. I really enjoyed it. It's
very good.
It's a little too much of walking around slowly, just shooting people as soon as you see them. There's so many of that.
A lot of people get killed.
I mean, I don't mind that, but it's there wasn't enough variation of action. I mean, but other than what is his name? The guy who plays Reacher.
That guy,
Alan Richardson. Alan Richardson.
Tearing through people.
Amazing! I freaking loved him in this movie.
He was really great. He was very funny.
Alan Richardson.
It was funny too. But yeah, you're right. He's so big. Is he that
but
big?
Other than that, it was mostly just walking, just taking people out. But no, I really enjoyed it. It was, it's Guy Ritchie. I don't doubt the guy. He makes such great movies. If you guys haven't seen The Covenant, the Jake Gyllenhaal one, that movie is amazing. That movie's incredible. So, but yeah, I loved Ungenuinely Warfare. It's really awesome.
I love how they tie it. I mean, this is based on real stuff. I've talked about it before. This is kind of a precursor to MI6 or MI5, MI6, all that stuff. And and they had to do some dirty stuff to win this war. In the fight against Germany, it was way more. Germany, they were bombing London, they were bombing them. So this war was really hitting them hard. They had to do what they had to do. They felt like Churchill had to do. So I like kind of that they were playing characters that are at least based on real people that did a lot of the stuff. But I love how it's very intense. You're really watching it, and especially the third act, you're really oh man, are they gonna I was pretty riveted, really hoping, oh, please let them all make it. Please let them get this. Do the thing, the mission. It's a good. I really liked it a lot. I really enjoyed it.
It's basically a heist movie, also in a way. Especially the end.
Well, it turns into a heist. I don't want to spoil.
Yes, it does.
it winds up being a heist.
Really?
It starts out like they're going to do one thing, and then they wind up having to. We got to change plans, and it becomes a heist movie. But
yeah, no, for sure. So I enjoyed it. I mean, I saw Civil War as well. Really good. A little overhyped for me. I mean, people were saying, "Oh, this is Dune 2 has a challenger for best movie of the year," and I'm like, "Wow, whoa, really?" And then I go into it, and it's really good. The thing for me is that the concept of the movie, right, is that America United States are in a civil war.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, it doesn't really focus on why or how, or doesn't explain how any of the countries decided on what side they're taking or anything.
Why is Texas and California teaming up?
Yeah, it doesn't even mention that, and it just like, oh, let's just follow these reporters, as if there was a civil war going on, but we're not going to explain anything.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah. So basically, it's like, oh, it's a good movie. It's entertaining. Like it's a fun ride, but the main character, there's a young girl an aspiring reporter who follows them, and she's an idiot, and they try to portray her as brave and heroic, like, but her actions just like cause trouble for other people. And yeah, it's an interesting film. It's a good movie, but just not what I was expecting.
Right.
I hear Jesse Plemons is amazing in his limited role.
He is. Yeah. He is. He's incredible. I mean,
Yeah.
he's barely in it, but in the scene that he's in it, he's very effective. Married to Kirsten Dunst, by the way, in real life.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Interesting. So between those two movies, all right. So let's start with The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Who is that movie for? If you had to say, like, okay, I recommend this movie for people who enjoy.
It's if you like any Guy Ritchie movie, for sure.
Okay, but maybe they don't know Guy Ritchie by name. So like another popular movie that's kind of in the same. I mean, he probably mentioned Guy Ritchie movies.
I would say it's like,
if you enjoyed Inglourious Basterds,
Inglourious Bastard vibes.
Okay,
especially not as good and not as violent. But
it's way more violent than Inglourious Basterds.
You think so?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
if you're at the end of Inglourious Basterds, this is like there's more of that in this throughout this movie in my opinion.
Oh, the scalps and the carving on the.
So all right, I say Inglourious Basterds is more brutal. Like it's more gory and more brutal. Like this is kind of like there's more deaths in this throughout. But
yeah, it's more. Maybe I would agree. Excuse me. I think it's more. It's maybe just kind of sort of your standard just action. It's kind of John Wick type violence. There's a lot of so yeah, maybe you're right. It's probably not as gory but there's a lot of stabbing and shooting, and,
But yeah, it has Inglourious Bastard vibes, like historical events, but like told in an entertaining way. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Speaking of, there's two people from Inglourious Basterds in this movie.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. There's actually both of them were two of the bastards. So one of them, he doesn't say anything, but he was one of the guys that was in the basement bar during that scene. And then actually they were both in that scene too. But the other one was the guy Hugo Stiglitz, who's the guy that was he was a former Nazi that they went and recruited out of jail and brought
Everybody knows Hugo Stiglitz.
He's kind of the movie. He's like kind of the main villain that they're kind of going after. So yeah, everybody knows Hugo Stiglitz. Do I not?
Okay, cool. Jacob, Civil War are for people who enjoy. Yeah, to recommend Civil War, you say it's for people who enjoy movies like whatever movie Mark Rylance stole the Oscar from Sylvester Stallone, or
that movie's really good. I like that movie.
It's such a nightlight if I need to sleep.
I would say okay, it's very different. It's mostly about journalism and like the stakes you're willing to go to.
It's like Spotlight. No, Spotlight's
more
way
like
different. Actually.
Nightcrawler, but very different.
Oh, okay.
It's not in that same. It's very different movie from Nightcrawler, but in the sense where like some of these journalists are like junkies. They're like, "Ooh, I want to be where the action is." Like, so like let's say the Civil War's going on, right? And they're traveling across country, and there's a shootout going on. They drive towards it, and they literally go in the middle of the shootout, and they're standing behind some of the soldiers, like filming it, taking pictures. So it's kind of has that vibe, but in a very different way, I would say. But also, I'm trying to think of a movie like
movies that make you ask questions or
like
something,
or like apocalyptic movie where the U.S. is at war. Just
that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
like
but has those vibes.
Is it like Escape from New York or something?
It
Not
could
really.
be like that. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But it's hard to comp it. It's very unique, other than the journalism. Like Nightcrawler was the first thing that came to mind, but it's very different because he's manipulating all that stuff going on and like creating his own stuff to report on. But they're just following the danger wherever it goes.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Any other movies you guys caught or want to talk about or quickly mention?
I started about half hour into Poor Things.
What? What's the movie called?
Poor Thing.
It's the Emma Stone one where she was.
Oh, I heard something else.
Yes, I know. Yes, Poor. Poor Things.
Okay.
With Emma Stone. Emma Frost. Emma Stone. Anyway, Emma Frost. Emma Stone, kind of I'm getting a Edward Scissorhands kind of vibe so far. I don't know. It's kind of, it's so far. I know there's a lot more to it, but, to be seen. I'm into it though. I want to see what's going on. I'll try to catch some of the Oscar nominees from this year. They all look pretty interesting.
So far, from what you've seen from Poor Things, do you see the performance that won Emma Stone?
Yes.
Best lead actress. Okay.
Absolutely, yes.
All right.
Yeah, definitely. She's doing a lot. So that's a hell of a commitment from her. For this role, so. All
right, everyone. Okay, here we go. We're gonna switch now. Okay, we're gonna go from movies.
49ers are on the clock.
The NFL draft. Okay, so if you play fantasy football or if you're a football fan, this is it right here.
Really quick, 1 sec. Just go down and shout out to our John. Is that Curtis? I think said he finished Fallout. I'm gonna watch Fallout this weekend.
Oh, I want to watch that too.
Yeah. Everybody's raving about it. I need to see it. So yeah, we'll talk about it next week.
Okay. Okay. All right, let's bring in this guy right here. He better late than never. It's
big crossover time.
Is he on the screen right here? I'm trying to bring him in, but
he just texted us and said let him in.
I'm trying. Is he on the screen?
I don't see him. No. Did he get the right? He's probably not. Is he in the right thing?
I see him right there, but I can't.
Oh, he's in the private chat.
Yeah. Hold on.
Oh my God.
Hang on. Oh, that's why. Hang on. Okay. Let me there he is right there.
Oh no, my wife's in the background.
God, come on.
Oh boy. There he is right there. Gabriel Miramontes.
Ruining the crossover already.
Better late than never.
Too wide an angle.
What?
How's it going, guys?
Wow, Gabe came on because the 49ers are on the clock.
Oh, are they? Okay.
All right, hold on. The 49ers are on the clock. San Francisco 49ers select. I'm surprised they didn't trade out of the first round. Ricky Purcell, wide receiver from Florida. Okay. So does that mean we're trading Brandon Ayuk? Okay. So
we took a wide receiver. Nice. I don't mind that.
Not for a first round pick, they're not.
Oh my God.
Shocked if somebody gave him
okay.
I just want to do a mic check. Can you guys hear me okay?
We can hear you
Yes, sir.
We can
It's been a
hear
long
you.
time, gentlemen. I just wanted to say hello. And also, I don't have the proper mic set up today, but I am so thankful to be here. Thank you for having me, Gio. And two things. Right before I popped in, I heard Keith talking about the movie Poor Things and how Gio misunderstood it and thought he
Yes.
heard something else.
Yeah.
Well, Gio, if I thought you heard what I thought you heard, yes, there's a lot of that in the movie. If you were thinking about the word I thought you were thinking about. So I'll just let that simmer in your ear. And also, Fallout is a great show too. So I wanted to close out the TV
Oh,
with you.
there you
I
go.
love it
Have you
as a
watched all of it?
gamer and an avid fan of the franchise. Yes, I've watched the majority of it. I'm about 4 episodes in, and I'm loving everything I'm seeing about. I'm taking my time with it.
With Fallout, yeah. Okay.
Fallout. Great show. But yes, please don't let me interrupt. I know the Niners just drafted a wide receiver. What are your thoughts?
You have interrupted.
Ricky
What are you talking about? The
Parcell.
whole thing is you interrupted.
Okay. I mean, yeah. I don't think the wide receiver was our issue, but if anybody who's watched football, the 49ers have a high-powered offense, and we already have. I mean, we have Deebo Samuels, Juwan Jennings, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey, and so what? Why?
So
They
listen,
got either Ayuk or Deebo. One of them's gone. My opinion.
They're not going. They can't get rid. They can't get rid.
Well,
of
the
Deebo.
thing for me is, I think. Look, eventually, Debo's gonna one of them are gonna be gone. This offense, these players are older.
Yeah.
Why
not
won't they
Deebo and
pay
Ayuk
Brandon
necessarily. They need to pay Brandon Ayuk, but I'm saying even if they keep
pay
everybody,
Deebo.
it's not a bad idea to stock up on younger players for when Deebo does start to decline, when Kittle starts to decline, when McCaffrey starts to decline. That way you have, your offense doesn't necessarily fall apart. So I'm okay with that in that sense. Because the thing is for me, let's say if Ayuk or Deebo get hurt, who are our wide receivers? So the thing for me is the guy they took, I don't know much about him, but it says he's the number 9th ranked wide receiver on the board. So that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they took him. He was the 6th wide receiver taken. So that means, according to this, there were better wide receivers on the board. Which,
yeah,
but I bet you Kyle Shanahan likes this guy. That's why.
Draft. Just so you guys know.
This is giving me AJ Jenkins vibes, and AJ Jenkins was a first-round pick a little over 10 years ago. It was number 30, and he sucked. I don't know anything about this guy. It just
wait.
Yeah, but
whatever.
10 years
Are you guys familiar with Ricky Pearsall?
No.
Oh, the guy. So literally, he's getting comps to Ladd McConkey, and I don't want to sound overly weird. It's a touchy subject, but when literally that's all ESPN can compare him to, the other wide receiver in the draft, they're just both white guys. But this guy, he's great. He's going to be that Julian Edelman possession wide receiver that I think the Niners probably could use, right? They have Deebo. We understand he's that bulldozer in the backfield. They didn't use him that much in the last couple of years like that. He's a great wide receiver. They need that short range guys. Kittle, I don't know, for all intents and purposes, he's kind of disappeared. He's had some great games over the stretch, but I think Pearsall is going to provide a nice, constant flow of targets. And, dude, I'm surprised they took him. I'm kind of jealous.
Really? Okay.
How are you more excited than
Well, you know what? It's the draft, man. My blood is going. I've been hearing a lot of good things about Ricky Pearsall. Some people had him higher than 9. They love his hands. They love his quickness. His ability to get open in the field. So I don't know. And the Niners, anybody who goes to the Niners is bound to have fantasy success. And of course, I got to talk about fantasy every now and then. So I love the pick. They're just going to bolster what already is a great offense, just like the Chiefs did with Xavier Worthy a couple of picks before that.
Well, it won't matter if coaching hubris is going to coach you guys out of winning a Super Bowl as it constantly has with your head coach, who's poor decision making. It's cost him 3 Super Bowls now.
2,
So-
well, 3, yeah, 2 with the
3.
Niners and
Yeah.
1 with the No, I mean, just I don't know. Our window's
Hubris.
closing.
Arrogance. That's what the Niners need.
We have to talk percentages here, though. What is the percentage
But no, I get it.
that Ayuk stays in San Francisco with this pick? Give me percentages, guys.
I mean, he's under contract. He can stay. They can keep
He's under
him.
contract for
Sure,
one more
but he's already
year.
requested a trade, right? There
I
were
know
rumors
they don't
of
have to
that.
trade him. They should pay. They should pay him, but they paid Debo. I don't know why they won't pay him.
He hasn't requested a trade, by the way.
We're sure
There's
about that. There were
reports, but
rumors. There were
we don't know
rumors.
that for
His
sure. but
agent
yeah.
came out and said he did not request a trade.
Okay,
but
yeah,
I don't think so. If they didn't trade him for if they didn't trade him for like a mid first round pick, then I don't think he's getting traded.
They were not going to trade him for a first round pick. Nobody was giving up a first round pick for Brandon Ayuk. I mean, he's good, but he's not. I don't think anybody would give up. I don't think anybody would give up a first round pick and pay him
And have to pay him. I know. Yeah, that's true.
So I don't think anybody was ever going to do that. So he could still maybe get traded, but it will be less than what they probably want.
Well, the last pick of the NFL draft for round 1 just concluded, and Xavier Legette, another guy who I'm super hyped about, just went to the Carolina Panthers to bolster Bryce Young's wide receiving room with Deontay Johnson.
Yeah.
Big leap for Bryce Young in year 2. I'm excited, man. It's a good night for football, except for the Raiders who drafted Brock Bowers, and that's when I mute myself.
Yeah, so let's talk about let's give our reactions to round 1. Okay.
So I don't know. So I didn't even know what happened. So because I was like,
obviously
all our teams got some players, right?
Obviously Caleb Williams goes number 1. We knew that, and he's in the best spot for a rookie QB with all the weapons and whatnot. There was no surprise there. And then you had some quarterbacks go off the board: Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Marvin Harrison, number 4, went to Arizona. Jim Harbaugh, he's going to run the ball. He got his offensive tackle and Joe Alt.
Nice.
Then another wide receiver went off the board, Malik Neighbors, and then an offensive tackle. And then the surprise of the draft, in my opinion, was at number 8, the Falcons took Michael Penix Jr.
Oh,
wow.
And yeah, right.
Then Roma Dunze goes to Washington with Caleb Williams. JJ McCarthy gets the throw to Justin Jefferson in Minnesota. Bo Nix goes to Denver with Sean Payton and that mess over there. And then the Raiders.
Okay, let me talk about the Raiders. This is my AFC girlfriend.
Yeah.
I'm okay with this.
Why?
They're probably gonna lose. Devontae Adams is probably not gonna stay there.
Okay.
But Gardner Minshew and O'Connell are fine. Okay, you don't need to at this point where they were in draft. I don't think they needed to reach for somebody that may not be, the guy. If you're gonna draft, I feel like, in my opinion, if you're gonna draft somebody in the first round, you need to make sure they are the guy.
Yeah.
I think the Raiders have made this mistake so much. They decided to get a playmaker instead. Okay, I think Gardner. I'm a fan of Gardner Minshew. I think he's pretty good. He hasn't really gotten a real shot, in my opinion. Hopefully this will be it for him. I think he's a decent enough quarterback. He almost took the Colts. Colts almost made the playoffs. He's decent enough to hold that spot if he is the starter in Las Vegas. And I mean, O'Connell wasn't bad. I don't know, I don't really know how good he can be for a whole season. But I think between those two, I think they can hold it for a year or two if they need to until they get the guy that they like. That's going to be the guy, if the Raiders haven't had in a very long time. So I think it's fine. I don't know what I know. People wanted them speculating they might go up to number 2 to get because of James Daniels' relationship with.
They would have had to give up the farm.
They would have
I
had to give
mean,
up a lot, exactly.
A
So,
lot,
you're
yeah.
right. So, personally, I think
But-
the Raiders are fine.
But Gabe, as a Raider fan, why Brock Bowers?
I think it was just the best value there. I mean, honestly,
He's
the
very
Raiders were like almost destined to draft Michael Penix Jr. and the Falcons pull off the most unpredictable pick in the last 20 years of the NFL draft, and they draft Michael Penix to back up 4-year, $190 million Kirk Cousins. His agent already came out and said that they were shocked by the pick because they didn't even know what was happening. They had no prior indication that they were going to draft another quarterback. And I think the Raiders were completely thrown off guard by that, and they had to pivot. And what's the best pivot? Is to draft the best player available. Bowers was graded out, I think, as the 9th overall player in the entire draft, and they got him at pick 13. So in my eyes, it's the value pick, and that's what they got him for.
I mean,
It's ridiculous.
So they were
reach
going to
at
take
number
Penix.
8.
What's that, Gio?
To reach all the way at number 8 for him, like
It's insane.
you could have
It's
traded back
insane,
to
man.
10, 11. You probably still would have got him.
You know, in the NBA, this happens a lot where they're like, oh, the Atlanta picks at 20, and then at 24, Minnesota's on the clock, and then they'll say something like, oh, Atlanta has traded the trade rights to whoever they took at 20 to the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the Minnesota Timberwolves trade.
Well, that happens in the NBA way more.
That's what I'm saying. And as soon as they drafted him, my thought process was, okay, wait a second. Denver's going to pick a quarterback. The Vikings still have to pick a quarterback. Maybe the Falcons did this, and then they're going to do one of those similar trades with Las Vegas to solidify a quarterback, and they didn't do it. And I'm just like, wait, what's going on? I don't know who's going to be throwing Brock Bowers the ball. Not to mention they just drafted Michael Mayer last year.
Yeah.
Also in the top 15. So I don't know. It's just
So wait, what was your record again after Antonio Pierce took over?
That's a great question. I don't know offhand. I don't want to be bold and say it was a winning record, but I want to say it was respectable.
You're decent. I just told you
I think he thinks he can compete with this. I think he thinks he can compete.
That's what I'm
with
saying.
This roster. So
yes.
And the thing is, he didn't draft Michael Mayer. I mean, he was on the team, right? But
yeah, I still think it was a full-blown pivot. I don't think anybody was prepared for that, man. That was quite honestly a very shocking pick, in my opinion. The Michael Penix pick.
He went 5-4.
Yeah. So
when he took over as
that's very
mainly it was good, but they were lacking on offense. If you watched Raiders,
games, I mean, that's the thing. They were playing like the best defense in the league after he took over.
I think ended up 2nd overall over the last 9 games of the season or something like that.
But that's great. That the fact that they went 5-4 with no offense, like that's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, do they trade for? No, it depends.
I think
if
they're
Russell Wilson,
with this, they're going to draft a running back too.
Okay, so here's the thing. 5, okay, no offense. So what? I mean, bringing in a rookie at quarterback is not going to. What's that going to do? Like, what do you think? What kind of jump are you going to make there? Like you're starting all the way with a rookie at QB. They got 2. They got O'Connell in second year, third year, something like that. Second year.
It's rookie. So last
he
year
was
was
a
rookie
rookie
year.
Yeah, he'll be his second year. Gardner Minshew's he's a vet. He's been there a few years. I mean, they can hold it down for at least this season. So
yeah, I mean they had to make this pick knowing, okay, Antonio Pierce, like we're not expecting much this season, so like I guess we'll build. And
sure.
I mean, it's not to say Russell Wilson doesn't ball out in Pittsburgh and then they trade Justin Fields, or maybe they trade Trey Lance to the Raider. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of what scenarios, but maybe they don't even do a trade. They just say we're just going to play this year out.
Yeah,
play to win, but then it's like I don't know. Sure. Yeah. Okay. Keith, you're a Washington fan. How we feeling, man? You guys got your quarterback who comp was RG3, so
Well, of course.
who was also drafted number 2, I believe, to the what was then the Redskins. How you feeling about Jaden Daniels?
Traded up to get him, so I'm glad they didn't have to do that. So
Yeah,
it's fine. Yeah, I mean, I don't. We'll see. You never, this whole thing, the draft period is a crapshoot. So who knows how anybody's going to be. So I mean, I'm not mad at it. I kind of wish they would have kept Sam Howell at least for this year, but just to ease the, I'm one of those people like I'm not a big start the rookie guy, throw him in there right away type of guy, but in Washington, I guess it doesn't matter. Who cares? Like just he's got to start at some point. So, but I kind of think Howell was pretty good last year, considering how horrible our O-line was, and
yeah.
So, I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, it sounds like he's a pretty good athlete. He could turn out to be, one of those guys we haven't had since Joe Theismann, to be honest. So, when I was a kid. So yeah, I was trying to. I told you guys. I texted you guys. I was trying to will them mentally, like Professor X. I was trying to will them to trade this pick to Minnesota for Jefferson, for Justin Jefferson, and maybe Sam Darnold. They can get him, but no. Why isn't Minnesota? Why aren't they paying him again? Why are they not paying their guy? Why aren't they paying? I'm not going to trade him to somebody that will. But yeah, no, I'm okay with it. I hope he's good. That's all I can say. We'll see.
Jacob, any takeaways from the first round of the NFL draft now that it's in the books? Shockers, people you're excited about, teams you're excited about?
Yeah, I mean, nothing crazy. There's a lot of running backs. Special guest appearance, Kylie.
Hi.
Hi, Kylie.
Kylie.
Your podcast debut.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of quarterbacks taken. I'm really interested on the 49ers choice to draft a wide receiver. I mean, for the team, I don't know if I love it, but like for fantasy, it's kind of nice to have a dynasty player to have my eyes on now. That's a 49er. But because after Ayuk and Debo, it's like
Tyler Boyd.
There's not much. Yeah, but they did. I saw that comparison to Tyler Boyd. I don't mind that as you can never have too many weapons. A lot of teams are loading up on offense. So it's an arms race. So it's not a bad idea to have too many weapons.
I know you guys are like Niner fans, obviously, pending Keith with the Washington hat. But per the big man from ESPN, Niners are more likely to trade Deebo Samuel than Brandon Ayuk. What do you guys think about that? Adam Scheffner, baby.
Makes sense.
I would rather trade Deebo than Ayuk if I had to choose. I think Ayuk's going to last longer. I think he's a better wide receiver. For what it's worth. I mean, Debo's a great, just Swiss Army knife type of player, but
he's great for the culture too. Like his locker room presence, coming out with the boombox with him and Trent Williams, and just all that. But it doesn't lead us to where we want to be. It's just like, we can only keep this roster together for so long, and it's just, shit.
What do you guys think about with this? And we still haven't talked about it. With this Super Bowl loss and the one from a few years ago. I mean, do you feel the window closing, or do you think because these guys aren't getting young? Kittle, Debo, some of the guys on defense, and I mean they're not getting any younger.
So it depends. If Shanahan thinks he has his guy in Brock Purdy,
right?
Then. I mean, a lot of people. I mean, even a lot of smart NFL people really believe in Brock Purdy. I don't necessarily think he's a franchise quarterback, but if he is what a lot of people think he is, then as long as him and Shanahan are together, I think they have it. Like they can keep rebuilding the roster, like refurbishing it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's just it's tough because we're gonna have to pay him in 2 years,
Right.
so the window is closing. I'm not afraid to say that. But we still got some anchors. You know, Fred Warner's only 27. Bosa still. We traded Armstead, so frees up some cap space, and you know, we got Hufunga in the secondary, so we'll see.
Is Brandon Ayuk going to have to hold out like Bosa did? And like, because they eventually caved and paid him. Like I say, they caved and paid Debo. So like,
For me,
what do you think?
so real quick, I think our timeline is Christian McCaffrey.
Okay. Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey is turning let's see, how old is he? I think he's 27 years old, so he's prime right now. So like with him and most of our
mileage
defense,
on him though.
yeah, but he's also like not your typical running back either. Like
Yeah.
guy's a physical freak, and he turns 28 next in about 2 weeks. So like clock is ticking. I give him a 2, maybe 3-year window because he's so athletically gifted. But like, man, if Shanahan's not able to win with this roster, then it's like I don't know, guys. I don't know. Ugh.
Shanahan is very young for a coach. He can coach the Niners for another 20 years if he wants to. So
yeah, but I don't want 20 years of getting to the NFC Championship and then losing. You know, it's like,
I think they get one at least. I mean, it's really hard to win a Super Bowl. I think Shanahan gets one. I don't know if it's with this team though, but could be with Brock Purdy though. We'll see.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe he was hell bent on making Purdy the hero in this past Super Bowl, which is one of the false, to a false.
Stupid.
But
oh my god!
That's the thing is, and he was just
Christian McCaffrey. Like what the hell?
They couldn't stop him. And he was just determined to have Purdy go toe to toe with Mahomes, and it backfired.
Dude, 3 and out. Just
yeah. So Jacob, I've said it all the time. I've been complaining about Shanahan forever.
Oh yeah, I know.
For years. So I don't know. That was frustrating to watch. It was a good game. I like both teams. I didn't mind, but I was frustrated with that. And for me, it's just they're getting to a point why living out here and kind of having close friends like you guys that are such Niner fans, and I'd like to see them out. I'd like to see them do it, but I'm also kind of like it's time to do it or just get out of here. Like it's annoying. It's annoying me. I can't imagine. I can't imagine how y'all feel.
In the past near decade, we've gone from 5-0 to 5-3. I'm tired.
Yeah.
Okay, giving up I invested a lot of apparel in Trey Lance, and then
jeez.
Yeah, no, he's not the guy. Okay, cool. He's not the guy. Cool. All right, so go ahead. Show me something. Do something.
Any other team, like people getting fired for that. Like you're getting fired for making that.
I don't know. We'll see. I'm still not over it. I'm still not over it. But as far as the rest of the NFL draft goes, look, Caleb Williams. He's if anybody plays fantasy football, he's going to be a top 3, top 2 pick. Jaden Daniels. Do your research. There's risk, but there's also reward. Same goes for Drake May. Marvin Harrison Jr. is probably the safest pick out of all of them. Just landing spot, quarterback, legacy, his father. Malik Neighbors could be a nice stash, but you're waiting at least one season. He'll have moments, in my opinion. Michael Penix, you're gonna do what you did with Jordan Love, okay? And I would know. I just you're gonna hold on to him for years. You're gonna get tired. People are gonna send you offers, and if you take him with one of your first round picks, you're holding on. That's all you're doing. Roma Dunze, I like where he landed with Caleb Williams, but there's a lot of mouths to feed right now with Keenan Allen and DJ Moore and Cole Kmet. That could be another 1 or 2 year. JJ McCarthy, I mean, arguably maybe just as good of a landing spot as Caleb Williams. Guys, chime in on these first 10 picks here, fantasy wise. What are you thinking?
I think the most shocking probably would have been the Chargers. I mean, they lock up the offensive tackle position, get Justin Herbert some much needed help.
Yeah.
But I mean, they were tasked with guys like Brock Bowers. They were attached to Malik Neighbors, just giving Justin Herbert more help. But I guess they had to make a decision, right? We all know John Harbaugh. I'm sure you guys know as Niner fans. They're going to run the ball down people's throats. So how are you going to do that? You're going to invest in some more offensive tackles. That's what they did. But now you're going into day 2 of the NFL draft, which I will say is a very deep wide receiver draft. But you're still going into day 2 with Quentin Johnston and Joshua Palmer as your 1-2 for Justin Herbert. I'm a Justin Herbert dynasty owner, and I don't know. I'm feeling a little shaky going into day number 2 of the NFL draft.
They took Quentin Johnson in the first round last year, did they not?
They did, but the development was a little questionable.
I know, but they take another receiver in the first round again. That's not.
Yeah, I don't know,
that's not
man.
Harbaugh's thing. Like you said, he
it
plays.
Is not. That is very true. And what did I say?
that's-
They're a run-heavy team, as Niner fans know. So
Look, don't forget that Justin Jefferson was taken in the 2nd round. So
you're right.
And in the 3rd round of fantasy rookie drafts. So
by the way, Gabe, I thought we were doing all our draft orders together. I'm doing my draft order right now, literally. But let's keep talking. But I like Jaden Daniels a lot. I'm torn. So, I mean, Gio, you were talking about like dynasty picks, like Caleb Williams being a top 2 or 3. Yeah. So like, I really like, because I'm in a position where I have the number 3 overall in a dynasty league for a rookie draft, and I'm going to have to decide: do I want to invest in Jaden Daniels, or do I want to take like a Malik Neighbors? And I really need a quarterback in that league, so I think I'm going to take Jaden Daniels. Honestly,
you hear that, Cardana? And the number 2 pick. No, but then if Caleb Williams fell to you at number 3, I would have kicked that league in the teeth.
if somehow, right? But it's gonna go Caleb and
if Marvin Harrison Jr. falls. Yeah. If Marvin Harrison falls to number 2, Cardina's like, ooh, how the hell did he end up with the number 2 pick anyway? What the God damn.
He traded earlier on for it.
All right. Keith, any thoughts, fantasy? Like, ooh, like you're rubbing your hands at a prospect or something.
Hold on, Gabe. You have the number 1 pick in Die Hard.
Let's go.
Nice.
Let's go. He's on the block. Number 1 pick is on the block, by the way. I'm not drafting.
Well, it was Joe P's pick, but you know why.
Oh, let's go. Yeah. Hey, he's got Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase.
Hey, and how did your pick from franchise end up the number 9 overall? That does not sound right, but we'll talk about it later.
I'll do some background work right now.
I also have Joe Burrow.
That's a great stat.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Well, see, that's for me. That's just a little insight into my operations. Like I'm trading picks not for rookies. I'm trying to get guys that are already there, already here, already established. So, but I'd like to make a couple moves, try to fill out my team a little bit more. So I definitely need it, like everybody. So some guy. I'm curious to see. I like rounds 2, 3 in the draft, like these middle parts of the NFL draft, because that's where you find out this is where you get guys. You mentioned Justin Jefferson, Antonio Brown. I think wasn't he like a 6th round pick or something like that, 5th or 6th round pick or something like that. Like you get some real some real monsters in these middle rounds in the draft. So.
And not only that, Keith, are we not forgetting just 1 year ago the undrafted, the Hawaiian stallion Puka? Well, I don't know if he's
Absolutely.
Hawaiian. That might have been
Right.
bad.
Absolutely.
Puka Nakua.
That's
right?
crazy.
Absolutely.
That's
Hey, listen, the last pick in the draft.
Not
was
saying I had
started
him in
the
every
Super Bowl.
league or whatever. I'm just saying.
yeah.
And
Last
then
guy-
traded him to Ben just because he liked his name.
Like his name.
Like,
yeah,
sure. I'll give you Puka Nakua just because you like his name.
That's hilarious.
That is
Did
crazy.
you guys
And-
see that the other day? Do you remember how that trade turned out? I gave him Mostert, Puka Nakua,
I looked at it. I was
T.
looking at it.
Higgins
Like that was a
for
haul.
Devontae Adams, and I also gave him a couple of picks. And
Yeah.
that was a storm rager when that
Yeah.
when that trade came out. And look how it turned out. Completely backfired for me.
Jesus.
Listen, you
Like
never
Jacob
know.
always says, grown men will make their trades. They know. They see what they see. And Ben saw what he
Oh
saw.
my
And
God.
what a trade. What a
You know what?
trade.
I just realized, Jacob, we're in a Superflex 2 QB league, and you're deciding between Jaden Daniels or Caleb Williams or Malik Neighbors and that's not even
Yeah,
a
I mean,
question.
No, I'm gonna take Jaden Daniels. Well, the thing is,
Well, if he falls to you,
yeah. I mean, I have the third pick. If Caleb Williams or Marvin Harrison fall to me, I'm taking them.
well, yeah, obviously, yeah. I mean, but I don't know. To me, that's not even a question right there. And man, whoever owns Terry McLaurin, like, okay, he's 28, so he got like 2 years, maybe 3 left.
I've been
Like,
trying to
okay,
get him.
congratulations.
Yeah.
I tried getting him a few months ago, and like I could tell the people who had him were watching first round fantasy or something. I don't know. Shit. So 11 through 20, as far as fantasy, Bo Nix, I think Zach Wilson's gonna beat Bo Nix. I mean, Bo Nix has been talked about by a lot of analysts as like maybe like he's like a day 2 prospect or something.
Well,
like that. And
listen,
just,
Sean Payton, he knows what he's
he?
on it though.
Does he?
Sounds like
does he know what he's doing?
Listen, he was
winning with
move up.
Russell. He was winning with Russell Wilson.
He didn't sign Russell Wilson. That's not what he wouldn't have signed Russell Wilson. That was not a Sean Payton kind of player. He was trying to go up to get Patrick Mahomes back in 16 that draft, 17. The Chiefs jumped him and they took him because he was going to get Patrick Mahomes. Like he'd still be in New Orleans if he had Patrick Mahomes. So
yeah,
I think he knows what he's like as far as his quarterbacks. I mean, Bo Nix, I think he'll make him fit in Sean Payton's system. So
we'll see.
We'll see.
Actually,
We'll see.
I have to go back real quick. Those of you who have invested heavily in Drake London, me, in one league, I feel a little bit more comfortable now about his long term, like next 8 to 10 years. Like, I'm not saying Michael Penix Jr. is going to be, incredible. I mean, he was one of the lesser rated quarterbacks, and maybe sitting behind Kirk Cousins for a few years could do him good. But like, at least there's a plan after Kirk Cousins. And like, if you have Kyle Pitts or Drake London, you at least got to be feeling okay. Like, yeah, taking a quarterback at number 8 is like very weird, but from a fantasy perspective, with the weapons, if you invest in any of those, it's like, okay, like, I don't have to look so far down the road. I don't know.
Sure.
Brock Bowers could blossom into a very, he could be Sam Laporta. You never know, but until they get a quarterback, I don't see it.
Yeah, I get it. But they'll be fine. I think they got a good coach, which they made a good interim coach hire finally.
Yeah.
Like they messed up last time, so they corrected that part of it. So I think Antonio Pierce is gonna coach them up. They'll be fine. Raider fans, relax. Be fine.
Jacob, Gabe, any thoughts on Bo Nix, Brock Bowers? I mean, they're really the only 2 standouts, and from 11 to 20.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think either of them are going to be fantasy relevant in year 1, probably even year 2.
Yeah.
I don't know if Gardner Minshew can support to Devontae Adams, Brock Bowers, Jacoby Myers. He can't support those guys, and
You mean
they're
from
all
a
going to be running
from a fantasy standpoint? You mean
from a fantasy standpoint. They're
Yeah.
going to be running the ball 30, 40 times a game. So I don't see anything from the fantasy standpoint. From an NFL perspective, hey, if Antonio Pierce can make it work, then I put all my faith in him. But from a fantasy standpoint, I don't want to touch any of these guys for fantasy. None of them at all. I have
How
to
do
see
you?
it to believe
What
it
would
first.
you feel about? I don't know who owns Devontae Adams, but what do you think? What do you think?
I own Devontae Adams.
Oh, do you? So I
In
don't know
that
that
league. In
doesn't
your
seem like
league,
he's
in
gonna
our
stay
league,
there.
yes.
I don't think he's going to stay there. It doesn't seem like he's going to be staying.
Yeah, but how many weeks do you hold on to Devontae Adams and just wait for the right opportunity for him to be traded? And let's say it's right before the trade deadline in November, and it's well, this season's already screwed. But
Look, I'll say this. Michael Pittman was fantasy relevant with Minshew. All right. He was a top 20 wide receiver. I still think at 31, 32, Devontae Adams can be that and more. But it's going to be a lot of what we saw last season. Low lows and high highs. Yeah. And he's going to become a boomer bust. I think he's probably solidified as a high-end wide receiver too. But, it's tough to trade him too because he's an older player, especially in dynasty formats. So his value is pretty much tanking in front of his own eyes. I think most owners, much like myself, I'm just going to hold on and enjoy the ride. And luckily I'm a Raiders fan, so at least I can grieve when I want to grieve and, be excited when I want to be excited. And I'm also happy that Denver took Bo Nix. Let's see how that project turns out. I don't really care, to be honest with you. I'm happy for the guy. He's clearly talented, more talented than I'll ever be. But, let's see how it turns out. Although, have you guys been seeing the Zach Wilson memes of him in Denver? Just all the Cougar memes. It's really funny. I love it.
Jacob, did you give your thoughts on 11 through 20? But it's really Bo Nix and Brock Bowers.
Yeah, I mean,
not ideal.
They're projects, I trust Sean Payton. So I think, like Keith was saying, he has a good eye. So, from him be able to choose his guy and develop him, that's ideal. But yeah, that division's tough. I mean, for fantasy though, yeah, I mean, we could see one of them emerge, but I'm not overly excited about either of them about either of them, honestly. I'm excited about the top three guys for sure, but not necessarily these guys.
Yeah, and if we're talking from a fantasy standpoint, because I always got to give my 2 cents, say goodbye to guys like Cortland Sutton. We thought with Jerry Jeudy gone, he was going to be just unquestioned, which he kind of was. But, you're not getting much out of him. Probably low-end wide receiver too. It just, the situation's dirty. I don't know how that team's going to win football games. Bo Nix has to develop first. And his QB competition is Zach Wilson and, what is it, Sturm or the guy Stidham. So we're probably going to see Bo Nix at some point this year, and I don't think it's going to be pretty out the gates. So for fantasy, just staying away.
Yeah.
The final stretch of the first round of the NFL draft got a little bit interesting. I don't like where Brian Thomas Jr. ended up. I don't know. If Trevor Lawrence can do it with Calvin Ridley, Brian Thomas Jr.
Sure.
I mean, we'll see, maybe. But then pick number 28, Xavier Worthy, who got a lot of hype after the NFL Combine for running the fastest 40, now gets Patrick Mahomes. I mean,
and that's somebody to replace Knucklehead.
Tyreek Hill?
No, Rashid Rice. Idiot.
Oh yeah, Rashid Rice is.
He's gonna be.
I mean, he'll still be relevant. He'll be like the short to medium pass catcher, but man, the deep threat, they got it again.
Yeah.
Shit, man.
Yeah, listen, it's good to be fast, but can he catch the ball? Like that's
That's true. You know, I don't know.
that
Yeah,
system
Andy
is
Reid.
complete.
We'll see.
Yeah. He's had
Um,
he had Jeremy Maclin. He was a speedy guy, but he was a little bit bobbly hands. Bobbly
Yeah.
with his hands. So. We'll see.
And then a couple wide receivers taken at the end, and Ricky Pearsall, and Xavier Leggett, going to Carolina.
I got to be honest, man. I disagree with you on the Bryce Thomas Jr. You know, you just got to say it. Like, who is it? Calvin Ridley? He got the bag. He got the money. He's going to Tennessee. He was okay. You're right. He sucked against press coverage. I think that was just more of a telling of like, yeah, the guy's probably done. He's on the other half of 29 now. He was removed. He could be rusty. He got the money and he left. Brian Thomas Jr. is incredible, paired with Jaden Daniels out in LSU. The guy was electric. He's going to be great. I don't know if he's going to pop in year one, coming from a guy that has a lot of Christian Kirk shares. So I'm a little nervous about that, but he will develop into a fine young wide receiver who can grow with Trevor Lawrence, who, think about it, hasn't really had a young wide receiver to grow with. Ever since he's been in the league, he's had Christian Kirk, veteran. Let's give him a guy to develop with and see how that turns out. You guys already know how I feel about Ricky Pearsall. I thought that was a great pick. Not a great pick, but a great player. Xavier Leggett, oh my gosh. Talk about a guy who just blew up this year and caught the college football world by storm. This guy is electric. He's on the older side. He's like 24 years old. So from a rookie wide receiver standpoint, yeah, right? What are you saying? But to me, that's just more maturity. That's, that's more seasoned experience.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to come in and he's going to make an impact right away, which is contrary to what Jonathan Mingo was able to do last year, which was not make an impact right away to pair with Bryce Young, right?
Yeah.
And then also, who was the other wide receiver there? Like you said, Xavier Worthy. You just can't give the Chiefs an opportunity to get better on offense, and you did.
They did.
And the craziest part about this, guys, is that this is like the deepest wide receiver class I've ever seen. There are still guys like Keon Coleman. I'm looking at the thing right here. Javon Baker, Adonai Mitchell. He was originally supposed to be the guy that was linked to Kansas City, a guy that's kind of similar to Jamar Chase or a lot of the comps that he's getting, but really raw. And oh my goodness, man. Troy, there's still Ladd McConkey out there. Troy Franklin, wide receiver out of Oregon. It's just a lot of good talent. Luke McCaffrey. You want the next McCaffrey, brother? He's probably going to go in like the 5th or 6th round, but he's going. It's just a lot of talent. There's so many good wide receivers. Like I'm talking about in our dynasty drafts, when we're in like the 3rd or 4th round, there are going to be some names there, guys, that are probably in pretty good positions to see volume sometime in the season. So I'm excited for wide receivers this year.
I'm excited about, as far as this first round goes, I'm excited about all of those wide receivers. I mean, not so much the last two. The only reason I'm excited for Purcell is because he was drafted by the 49ers. But the rest of those wide receivers, I'm very excited for. Xavier Worthy, the Jacksonville, is Brian Thomas Jr., right? Like, he looks nice. So I can't wait.
Yeah.
A lot of quarterbacks, a lot of wide receivers.
Final thoughts?
Yeah, agreed. Absolutely agreed. Like I said, these next two rounds 2 and 3 tomorrow, and then the rest over the weekend.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing who's gonna
where the running backs at.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, this is one of those crazy. It's crazy to switch over the last like couple of decades where it used to be running back heavy, and now it's all quarterback and receiver heavy at the top of the draft. But so I'm going to see what good running backs go. I'm looking forward to it, man. It's fun.
All right, that wraps up a very lengthy Fandom United Live.
Rachel, sorry.
2
Rachel came at the
hours.
end for the sports stuff.
Rachel, we love you. We appreciate you. Gabe, thanks for making the effort to stop by. Better late than never. Got to keep you on here from time to time if you want to talk movies or TV or any stuff you've been watching. Follow out that kind of stuff. You're always welcome. And of course, Bartley and Barnes. We'll be back next week and be on the lookout. We might do a little condensed watch along of the X-Men movies leading up to Deadpool and Wolverine. So could be fun, you know.
Will
Bring the
Logan
kids, bring the spouses, bring the
Yeah.
significant others, whatever, and you know, we'll talk about that. But that's gonna do it for another episode of Fandom United. Again, this is a Blockbuster podcast, and we appreciate all you guys there. And be sure to follow us on our socials there. Follow me on Instagram so you can see what I'm up to as I, you know, adventure out there. And yeah, that's going to do it. Hopefully we'll have an outro next week. But until then, you guys take care.